back to the show. I'm here with Charlie Miguel today, covering crypto. But before we even begin this podcast, right, there was a lot of talk happening recently in the marketplace about buying crypto, buying real estate, investing into stocks. And I could not believe the ignorance I heard on these calls.
Right.
X calls, chat in the comments. But what had me is that people were actually buying luxury cars over crypto.
Yes.
And I was like, hold on a second here. I've been there before, where I bought cars in the past, Lamborghini, for example. And I thought about the opportunity cost I spent getting that car versus spending into crypto.
Right.
And I was like, I lost probably over like a million.
Millions. Yeah.
And it's a tweet I brought up today, actually, if you don't mind, Bills, from Brandon. He mentioned that people are actually doing this on a high scale. So he says here, if your car payment is higher than your monthly Bitcoin buy, then natural selection is coming for you. And I can't agree more than he's saying here because it's true.
Yeah.
So real quick, when it comes to buying crypto and obviously getting Bitcoin, what's your take on that? Should people do it now? Should they wait? What do you think, Charlie Miguel?
I mean, right now, Bitcoin's dropped from 124,000 to 112,000. Even if, because like can you?
Into the mic.
Where's Big Mo?
Before we started, just some clarity here. There was some hair on the mic, right here to be exact. I don't know how it got there, but like, sorry, go ahead.
Carpet mattress, right?
Bruh.
No. No, just so the question was buying now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, just before this podcast, I did just a quick market update on my own YouTube channel and everything. And one of the things that we follow is the Bitcoin 60-day cycle. We call it the Lucas cycle as well because Bob Lucas was the guy who basically coined the 60-day cycle for Bitcoin. Shout out to him, absolutely. And the thing that even if you got the worst case for a 60-day cycle, right now we're on day 22. The high has been on day 17. Anytime the high is before day 30, that tends to be a bearish move. So what you want to see is a high after day 25, and then that tells you usually go up until about day 45 to 55, which would then be another 20 to 30, maybe 40 days from here of upside. So we'd have October. But in kind of worst case scenario right now in the market, you'd have to break Bitcoin below about $107,000. And if that does happen, then you go down from here for about 20 to 30 days into about mid to late October, and you get support between about $99,000 to $104,000 Bitcoin. So that's kind of your worst case scenario right now, is just going back down, hitting 100K, sitting there, and then going up in November and December. The other option right now for the market to do would be to hold 112. By the end of the week, get back above $114,000, $115,000 Bitcoin. If that happens, then we're going to new all-time highs by the end of October. So that's the usefulness of watching the 60-day cycles. Allows you to continue your dollar cost average on whatever you are buying, but then go heavier at the times where you have more opportunity.
So Charlie, the argument is that why am I going to spend this money to Bitcoin? It's already too high.
Right.
I got to just go buy a car right now, enjoy life, and we're going to be doomed anyway.
Well, Robert Kiyosaki would be disappointed in that, right?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is just, buy assets, not liabilities. Absolutely. Because if you buy liabilities, well, what's going to happen? Let's say you bought a brand new Porsche for like $130,000, let's say, right? It wasn't too customized. What's that going to be worth in a year or 2 years? Going to be half the price.
Like 30% off?
At least,
right?
Minimum, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even 50% off.
Yeah.
And so, like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? Versus if you buy Bitcoin a year from now, worst case is actually the same scenario. Might be 50% off. And in that case, what do? You buy more because a year from now would be the bottom of the 4-year cycle. Between basically Q4 of next year, between October to December is basically where you're supposed to get the 4-year cycle low for Bitcoin. And so then if you bought more at that time, then basically all you need to do is wait about 2 years, and then you'd be up again. So even if you kind of take worst case scenarios when it comes to crypto, like comparatively to a depreciating asset, it's not that bad.
Just to your point, it's funny because you got to deal with interest when you buy a car, repairs, and depreciation all at one time.
Yeah,
all at one time.
Crypto, I'm gonna get a loss, but that's it. No maintenance. It is what it is.
The cool thing as well is if let's say it did go down, like it was, oh shit, the top's in, which we don't think it is. There's a lot of liquidity moving around globally, and that's going to push us into next year. So I would be shocked if Bitcoin doesn't make it above $130,000 this year. But what do you call it? if you just kind of look at where crypto's going long term, like it's just an easy buy. I don't know. It's
I
just,
mean, you're buying an asset, right? So like in 2 years, Bitcoin's going to be higher than when you bought it, basically, right? Versus or even let's just say 3 years, right? In 3 years, you're down 30, 40, 50% on that Porsche. On the Bitcoin, you're now up.
correct.
Or at break even and stuff, which that car that depreciates is never going to go back up, basically. And that's the main thing is you're buying assets, right? But there is a little bit of timing in the market, right? For like 3 out of the 4 years in the cycle, it's basically a no-brainer to buy Bitcoin, literally. But this is kind of how we got into. Remember that argument that first day we went on an F&F on Friday? We got into argument with the Bitcoin Maxi, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Bitcoin Maxi, right?
He called in Bitcoin only, bros. Oh, bro. You know what's funny about that guy? He calls in every show pretty much, or
Yes.
has a comment, and it's like you can say it from the very beginning. Staple, foundation, Bitcoin, Ethereum. That's what you guys say all the time.
Yeah.
Well-
And my brand, it's just proof that basically people act with their emotions,
Yep.
not logic, because the dude's never watched our channel for shit. Like if he just looks at the brand, my brand, right? Cultivate crypto. That's exactly what we preach since 2019. Just like you want to basically stack coins, not dollars, because the coins that will stick around, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, like you're just going to win.
Speaking of coins and obviously money, I just sold some Ethereum and bought another Rolex. There
Oh,
you go.
nice.
So there you go.
Well, and the Rolex keeps its value, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So it's better than buying another car. But back to you, Miguel. So let's get into this real quick. So let's say the other argument is real estate.
Yes.
Why am I going to buy crypto? I can buy real estate right now. I can get a property, rent it out, live in it. And yeah, rates are high, but they're going down. Why buy crypto?
Why buy crypto? So it all depends on the purchase price. So right now, real estate is going down. Right now, the interest rates are still high, but it is always like a thing of like, do you need it versus an investment? Like right now, I don't think it's really the best time to be buying real estate as an investment. I think probably later in like late 26, maybe mid 27, I think rates have come down. Finally, we've people who've been wanting to kind of like refinance or at least sell their property and move somewhere else have done so. And then I really think that's the bottom of the market. I think from like 27 onwards, we're going to go into a nice little real estate run on residential. Commercial, I don't know. Commercial's pretty screwed. But on the crypto side, right, once you buy it, there's really no other costs to owning it. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, I mean, look, real estate's a great investment. I think the most millionaires have been made from real estate, but it's work. It's
Can I stop you real quick?
Yeah.
So, fellas, this is very important. Real estate is amazing. I think it's one of the best things you can do for long-term wealth. However, it is very costly. I just had a repair on my property, right, bro? Plumbing. Just some plumbing shit, right, bro?
Yeah.
Some pipes down under my house. It was $10,000.
Damn.
Yep.
Mind you, taxes have been raising at an alarming rate
Yep.
in almost every county and state I've seen so far by a lot. Luckily, I can afford it. But what if you're making ends meet? You got to pay your car payment, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, and then taxes? You're screwed. So there's a cost that are phantom costs, so to speak. You don't see up front.
Yeah.
Real estate, maintenance. Things go wrong. Murphy's Law.
Tenants.
What else? Tenants. Maybe they delete the property if you're renting out property. And these costs add up. And fellas, you might put a down payment on, I got a house. But then you become house poor. Versus
Yeah.
crypto, you put the money right there, it's set and forget.
Correct. Yeah.
Yep.
And then when we try to tell our guys, to put most of their portfolio in kind of like more sure bets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the majors, things that have like institutional purchases this cycle. And then of course, if you want to, we don't tell people they have to, but some people want to put more into more risky stuff because you can gain more. But most of the portfolio is in the big stuff.
And you always say, put money you're willing to lose.
Correct.
Only in those.
Correct.
In those
coins.
assets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
And,
can
and a smaller percentage of the portfolio, because some people are like, well, it's going to go up so much. Why don't I just put so much in there?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, but there's no guarantees in financial markets, right? So if you, like, one of the things that we tell our guys is like, hey, let's say it's extremely speculative, like max 5% of your portfolio.
Yeah.
If it's something that it's like Miguel said, like a layer one or a foundational coin that basically has some Wall Street play, let's say, for example, like AVAX.
Yeah.
It would probably be pretty aggressive if you put more than like 35% in that. Could you? Sure. But somewhere, more like 20, 25%, 15%, something like that would be a lot more reasonable. So you kind of have to know, okay, what is the quality of the coin? Where is it positioned? What's affecting it? and then okay, how much should I put in there? And for example, if we talk the moonshot coins and stuff like that, and let's say you have 10% of your portfolio in some crazy moonshot thing, and it does go up, it could become like 50% of your portfolio,
Right.
which then gives you a lot more cash to basically take off of that and then put back into Bitcoin. Or Ethereum, or the stuff
Yeah.
that's going to keep you long term. So that's the way to kind of cultivate crypto and just kind of continue expanding your portfolio. But that strategy that we recommend in the Crypto Mindset course is a slow but steady strategy. It's not the fastest horse that wins. And everybody, sees that one coin that nobody heard of a month ago, that just goes crazy. And they're like, man, I should have put all into that, and they just think about the short term instead of, okay, over 5, because if they do that over 5 years and they lose, then they're in the same place. But if they do it slowly and they keep gaining, right, higher lows, higher highs, then 5 years from now, it might seem like that's a long time. But when you look back in the past, you're like, 5 years just flew by.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then shit, now I have all this fucking cash and coins and just sitting on a pile of treasure. Right. That's awesome. So it's that delayed gratification that
Right.
a lot of people have a hard time getting towards. But once you practice it, it actually is kind of like a pleasant surprise.
Right.
I remember this is like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Mr. Organic was here and he put money into a coin. I don't know what coin it was. And when it went down, he put a lot into it. You could tell his mood just changed. He was like, fuck, bro. Like, he's just standing in the seat like this.
Yep.
You're right. He put a lot of money into that coin because,
More than he's willing to lose.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's learned from it now. He's doing way better. But yeah.
No,
Well, that's the thing is, if you don't get kicked out of the game by something like that,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, now I learned my lesson, I'm gonna adjust. Like, awesome, because at some point in any financial market, you're gonna take it out. Some people are like, I'm just gonna make sure that I never lose, and it's like, good luck.
Good luck. Good
You know?
luck.
Yeah.
So real quick, the Big G spoke about this today actually, and it was actually very on point. So he says housing prices will crash hard. The Ponzi has collapsed. The youth buy crypto with their spare money. Nobody is saving for a deposit on mortgages to buy overpriced boomer jackpots, which is
Yeah.
real estate today.
Cashing out.
Everyone hates banks. Houses are too expensive. Bitcoin is the solution, and I agree.
Yeah.
At this point, I've seen people come and go in real estate. The market's definitely not where they need to be right now. And buying your first property now is almost like you're asking to get shocked because prices are really high still. They're coming down a little bit, but not that much, and rates are still pretty high.
Yeah.
Well, and depending on where you buy real estate, right? I would actually say some real estate is probably as valuable as like it. Not this is a little bit of an exaggeration,
Yeah.
but as valuable as an NFT. And what I mean by that is, like let's say you bought property in just like some shithole, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, but I got that property, and it's just like not worth it, right? But the key is that it's not liquid. Like, how long does it take to sell the house, basically, versus Bitcoin? Boom, you got it.
You know what's wild? So people were bidding on houses like nonstop.
Yeah.
You were actually fighting to get the property
21,
for
20,
anybody else.
right.
And congrats, nigga, you won. But what'd you win? You won a property now nobody wants to buy. So right now, I think people are realizing it was a bad move because they bought properties like a year ago and they won the bidding war. But now they want to sell, they can't sell.
Yeah,
Everyone's stuck with
nobody.
their properties. Mind you, you got to pay property taxes, repairs, mortgage, and things go up. HOA fees. So you're stuck with that house versus if you bought Bitcoin, you'd be up right now and you can maintain.
Yeah, and you can sell at any point you want. Like if
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this price is too high, I'm gonna take 50% of this and put it into a stable coin or cash or whatever it is. You can do that anytime, absolutely. And the other thing I was gonna say earlier is, and if you do end up at a capital loss, you can actually there's a thing in crypto that's different from stocks and real estate, which is it's a wash sale. You can basically sell your crypto. Let's say you're down 50%. And let's say you bought one whole Bitcoin. Is that at $100,000 goes down to $50,000? You sell it, you buy it back literally the same day or the next day. You can basically take that 50K capital loss, even though you're still holding the same amount of Bitcoin, and you can basically have that towards the next tax year. So let's say then it goes back up, or you make some money on something else in crypto. You can use that 50K loss against future tax burdens so that you basically pay less tax.
Yeah, and then
Whoa.
and one thing that we're gonna be teaching you guys in the course, and especially the courses during the time when crypto's crashing really bad in late 26, is think about this. People are saving up for a
Think
down
about this.
Think about this. Think about this, right? Think about this is people are saving up for a down payment for a house. Let's say they got 30,000, 40,000, 100 grand for a down payment for a house. if they had taken that same down payment back in 22 when we went on Fresh and Fit in December of 2022, we were talking about the cash out course. Bitcoin was at its all-time low at 15,500. In that same amount of time, from late 22, early 23 to now, how many years has it been? Like 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Basically, in 2.5 years, you would be up 7 times on your money. 7 times on your money. If that was a 20% down payment, you now can buy your house cash, and you got double of your down payment liquid in cash. So you could have bought your dream house, bam, and still have almost like 40% of the value of it in cash still in your bank account. House paid off just with Bitcoin. That's how incredible it is. So we're going to be talking about plans like that to buy Bitcoin when it crashes. It could crash depending on how it goes. It could go down to 30, 40. If it doesn't go that high, it could go as high as like 70, 80,000 on the crash. We're going to buy there. That seems ridiculous, but within a year and a half, it could be right back up to 160,000, 200,000, just depending on how high we go, or back up to like 100 grand in a year and a half. So it's like such an easy flip where, like, let's just say Bitcoin doesn't go up this high. Like, let's just say it only goes to 138 and then it crashes to like 30 grand. You buy it at 30 grand. In a year and a half, we'll be back at 100 grand, right? You tripled your money in a year. Damn. On the safest asset, you're liquid. You could sell it anytime you need cash. I mean, literally, by 2027, 2028, you could take that Bitcoin, sell it within 3 or 4 days, have like that 100,000 back in your bank account.
And we see people like Michael Saylor and these billionaires still buying Bitcoin today.
Nonstop.
Yeah,
he just bought $90 million worth, I think, at $117,000 per Bitcoin.
And people are saying, I don't want to buy Bitcoin because it's too high, or because I don't want to enjoy life. I don't want to wait to enjoy life right now.
Yeah, fair play.
What is the actual result if people don't buy Bitcoin now?
Well, if you don't invest for your future, you don't have a future. You don't if you don't take any risks, there's no story. I mean, this is just is. If you don't start that business, you don't do anything with your life. You just stay as a wagee. You're gonna get stuck. I mean, your money is literally evaporating.
Well, everybody was asking the same question at $1,000 Bitcoin, $10,000 Bitcoin, $50,000 Bitcoin. Now they're asking the same question at $100,000. It's like, when are you gonna shit and get off the pot, bro?
Yeah, and someone in the chat said hindsight's wonderful. Well, I guess I'm pretty good at hindsight, because I bought when we crashed in 2019, I bought $3,000 Bitcoin. When it crashed in 22, I bought $15,000 Bitcoin. Like every time it drops on the bottom, I magically am buying. I guess I guess I could tell the past or the future.
And go to the stream that we did on Fresh and Fit, November 21st, 2022, the end of the year. We pretty much were within, if not the same day, it was within 2 or 3 days of the actual 4-year cycle low.
Yep.
Where Bitcoin hit $15,500. We were literally on your guys' show telling everybody to get in. And hindsight's 2020, right?
Right.
Guys, by the way, I apologize for it being so dark. Now you can see me a little bit more. Hopefully you can. Real quick, guys, Sam Jones will be here for his actual podcast later on after this podcast.
Nice.
He's still coming up, by the way, guys. Don't worry, we got you guys with that interview. But real quick, let's get into the course.
Yes.
The course is live right now. People are trying to figure out what the next move is. Should I save my money? Should I pay off my debt? Should I buy crypto? Should I buy real estate? Should I just sit on my ass and do nothing? What should I do next? And I'm saying to you guys right now, while you're still watching the show, get in the course, man. This is where you can make money right now, fellas, and for the future as well. And ultimately, guys, you want to be set for life, because what's happening is there's a huge wealth transfer between the brokies and people that have money. And the gap is so wide now that if you're not going to be careful and move smart now, you're screwed. 100%.
Absolutely.
So middle class is finito. Middle class is gone. It's either the rich or the poor. Now, you can get a vehicle to get there faster for crypto, but if not, I don't know any other way you can get there nowadays, especially.
Yeah, it's going to be really. I mean, it's going to be really difficult. I mean, look, stocks are still going to all-time highs. They're still climbing, but it's kind of a game where you already need to really have a high-paying job or be in those vehicles. And a lot of people don't have like those vehicles. Like for me, like I was self-employed for forever. I never had a 401k. Right. And the average person's financial education is so poor, they're not going to know what a Roth is or get into any of that. So that's just not available to you. Right.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Finish.
but crypto has the lowest barrier of entry. You can go on the Cash App, get into you can buy $5 of Bitcoin right now. If you hit the Cash App, boom, $5. You're in the game. You're starting to buy. I know people that I started buying crypto is like whatever money I was making, I was just, oh shit, I made $100 today. Bam, let me buy $100 of Ethereum. Let me buy $100 of Litecoin. This is back in the day though. Let me buy $100 of Bitcoin, and that's how I did it. I did it like daily on whatever I could scratch up. It made me hustle to make more money, and it made me richer. Like that, the one thing that we notice when we get guys into crypto is people get locked the fuck in. They start going like, fuck, I'm hungry now. I now have a vehicle to make money. I need to make more money.
So to your point, going broke every month helped change my mindset.
Yeah.
Let me explain. So before I used to like have money in my account sitting there like, oh, 200K, 300K, 500K. This is lit.
Yeah.
But I got lazy, comfortable. Like, bro, money just sitting there in my account doing nothing. Then I started putting money back into real estate, back into crypto. So now I got like a couple $1,000s in my account, but money's pushed into other assets, making me money at the same time.